Will Georgie's insecurity about Mandy's new fame eventually lead to issues between them? The truth is, the show is already laying the groundwork, and if you've been paying attention, the signs are unmistakable. What makes this storyline so compelling is that Georgie isn't acting out of malice or selfishness. He's dealing with something incredibly real and painfully relatable. When one partner experiences sudden success, attention, or validation, it can shake the foundation of a relationship in ways neither person expects. In Georgie's case, he's been trying so hard to be the provider, the steady one, the guy who makes things work. But Mandy's new visibility throws all of that into question. She's suddenly stepping into a world that recognizes her talent, builds her confidence, and gives her a sense of purpose she hasn't felt in years. People are noticing her in ways they never did before. And while Mandy sees her promotion as an exciting opportunity, Georgie sees something completely different. He sees the possibility that he's becoming less essential in her life. This isn't about jealousy in the traditional sense. It's deeper. Georgie's insecurity comes from fear. Fear that he won't be able to keep up, fear that he's not good enough, and fear that Mandy's world is expanding while his is shrinking. Mandy's promotion shines a light on everything Georgie has been quietly struggling with: the pressures of adulthood, the setbacks he's faced, and the weight of being a young father who didn't have the luxury of building his life slowly. Mandy getting attention highlights all the places Georgie feels like he's falling short. The show smartly portrays this through the small moments: Georgie's hesitation when Mandy gets recognized, the way he forces a smile when she talks about new opportunities, the frustration that bubbles up when he feels left out. He doesn't say much, but the discomfort is written all over him. And because Georgie loves Mandy, he tries to suppress it. But repressing insecurity doesn't make it disappear, it makes it grow. Mandy, on the other hand, isn't doing anything wrong. She's excited, proud, and hopeful. But she's also a little naive about how her sudden fame affects Georgie emotionally. She assumes he'll be happy for her, without realizing how deeply tied his identity is to being the one holding things together. Mandy's confidence is rising at the exact moment Georgie's confidence is sinking. And that imbalance is where the real trouble starts. One of the biggest risks here is communication, or rather, the lack of it. Georgie isn't the type to openly admit he's scared or insecure. He'd rather pretend everything's fine. Mandy isn't the type to ask the tough questions unless she absolutely has to. These two avoid conflict like it's the plague, and that's a problem when feelings this complicated are bubbling under the surface. If Georgie doesn't talk about his insecurity, it will show up in other ways: snapping over small things, withdrawing emotionally, or trying to control parts of their life just to feel stable again. And Mandy, caught up in her rising confidence, might misinterpret Georgie's behavior as resentment or lack of support, when really, he's just overwhelmed. Their relationship is at a point where they need more communication, not less, but both of them are stepping into uncharted territory without a clear plan. Another layer to this is the power shift. Mandy is becoming more independent, more visible, and more self-assured. Meanwhile, Georgie is juggling a business that constantly challenges him, bills that don't stop coming, and a family that still feels the aftershocks of George Sr.'s death. When one partner rises and the other struggles, resentment can creep in even when no one intends for it to. Mandy might start feeling like she's outgrowing Georgie. Georgie might start thinking Mandy sees him as a burden instead of a partner. These thoughts don't even need to be spoken aloud. They can quietly undermine everything. The show is also hinting at outside influences that could make things worse. Audrey seems to enjoy stirring tension, intentionally or not. The attention from Mandy's new job gives people more opinions, more comments, and more opportunities to create doubt. It's easy to imagine someone saying something that gets under Georgie's skin, something that confirms his worst fears. And Georgie isn't emotionally equipped to brush that off right now. At its core, the big question is whether Georgie and Mandy can grow together instead of apart. Fame doesn't have to ruin relationships, but it forces couples to reevaluate their roles, their expectations, and their emotional needs. Mandy needs support, encouragement, and space